Hi, welcome back to Review. Eleanor Webb, a teenage vampire who has taken to writing her life story on notes and then tossing the individual pages to the wind, she leaves one that is found by an elderly man named Robert Fouts. The elderly man, realizing what she is, invites Eleanor to his home and declares that he is prepared to die. Eleanor then kills him and drinks his blood. Clara, Eleanor's mother, is ejected from the lap dancing establishment where she worked after another fight incident. After a protracted pursuit, Werner, a member of the Vampire Brethren, finally manages to capture Eleanor. Werner is beheaded by Clara, who then burns his body before leaving town with her daughter. Elenor and Clara seek refuge in a rundown seaside resort. There, Clara sets her sights on Noel, a lonely man who has just inherited the once thriving Byzantium hotel, which is now in disrepair. In the next scene, a young waiter named Frank approaches Eleanor as she is playing the piano in a restaurant and expresses interest in her. Clara converts the Byzantium into a makeshift brothel after seducing Noel, and Eleanor enrolls in the community college that Frank attends. Frank asks Eleanor about her past because he is curious, and she writes her account for him to read. He presents it to their teacher, Kevin, in spite of not entirely believing it. The story begins during the Napoleonic Wars, when a young Clara meets Captain Ruthven and Midshipman Darvel, two Royal Navy officers. The story is revealed in a series of flashbacks throughout the course of the movie. Clara departs with Ruthven, who rapes her and forces her into prostitution, much to Darvel's dismay. In 1804, when Eleanor is born, Clara abandons her at a for-profit orphanage. Years later, Darvel, who has turned into a vampire, comes to the brothel where Clara is dying of what appears to be tuberculosis. He gives Ruthven a map to an island where those who are willing to die can turn into vampires. In order to get to the island and turn into a vampire, Clara shoots Ruthven in the leg, takes the map, and leaves. Clara is located by Darvel, who then brings her to the Brethren, a vampire secret society that guards the practice of being a vampire. They are horrified that a low-born prostitute has joined their ranks. Their members have historically been male nobles, but decide to spare her life by informing her that she must adhere to their code but cannot participate in their brotherhood. After being banished, Clara is alone and in need, so she sneakily pays Eleanor a visit at night. Later, when the vengeful, syphilis-ridden captain shows up at Eleanor's orphanage and drags her down to the basement to be raped, Clara's decision to spare Ruthven comes back to haunt her. Clara brutally murders him, but it's too late. Eleanor is doomed to a long, agonizing death. Eleanor falls in love with Frank in the 21st century and decides to assist him in becoming a vampire so they can be together because he is dying from leukemia. Clara learns from Kevin that Eleanor has informed Frank of their history before killing him. Noel is unintentionally killed by falling down the lift shaft when Clara tries to stop Eleanor from leaving the hotel and is successful in trapping her in the lift. Clara is dealing with Frank while Darvel and Savella, the leader of the Brethren, pose as police. They learn Clara's location from Kevin's coworker Morag and then go to kill her. When Clara realizes Eleanor is in serious danger, she decides to leave without killing Frank. In the final scene, in order to kill Eleanor, the Brethren kidnap her and drag her to a deserted fairground, but Clara intervenes and stops them. This is a visually stunning, intensely emotional, and thought-provoking movie. It provides a profound and evocative narrative that lingers in the mind long after the credits have rolled, demonstrating the vampire mythology's enduring allure. Thank you for watching and don't forget to subscribe.